I take podcasting very seriously, and as your host, I vow that I will never do anything to humiliate or embarrass any guest that join me here on the Chimichanga Superstar Podcast.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. I want the do the Mario in one step, and then you'll find the do the Mario all together now.
You got it! It's the Mario!
Hello, Chimmy listeners. Welcome back to another episode of the Chimichanga Superstar Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Christian Barrick, and I say, as always, a lot I've discovered. With me today is the creator, mind, and doer of BeenBetterComics.com and about a gazillion other projects, because this man doesn't know what it's like to have free time.
Who needs free time? Free time's overrated. Hey, Jimmy Purcell here.
Welcome, Jimmy. We haven't talked in forever, it feels like.
Yeah, forever and a day.
I know. Yeah, so pretty much every time I've ever had you on the show, we just wind up talking about movies all the time, so I thought this would be a perfect time to bring you on, since this week both of our love, Kevin Smith, who I swear I will meet and fall in love with before you do. He's slammed us with so much information about the DCU when all I expected this week was a new trailer for a movie. And
I'm a huge DC fanboy, so that's perfect.
Exactly. I wanted to go ahead and get you on with this. Excuse me, I'm dying. Such a professional. But, yeah, so I wanted to get into that. But before I get too far, I want to go ahead and thank you all of you superstars, for listening and liking and clicking and sharing and licking. Thanks to you, Chimichanga Superstar Podcast, which I've now said too much, is officially the top featured talk show on Spreaker.com. And considering all the other people we're up with, it just blows my mind. So thank you, everyone, for listening in. It's just not what I expected for what I've always known to be the most overrated podcast, not the most fantastic. And then one more shout out to Nurse Amy. Someone found me in the real world and stalked me into some creepy corner and said, "Love me, touch me, shine my..." No, she didn't say any of that. I actually said it. That was me. I asked her to sign my chest when she realized who I was. But no, this is definitely a happy little shout out to her as well. So, on with the show, motherfuckers. So, Jimmy, have you seen the new Oh My Dip God Suicide Squad trailer?
I've seen it many times, over and over. Every time I go on YouTube, I have to see it at least once. I feel like it was Force Awakens all over again.
Right? It's funny because this was supposed to be the movie that everyone's claiming is just the sideline film to Superman v Batman. I really don't feel that way at all. I feel like it's a contender.
I feel bad that I'm more excited about this film than Superman v Batman.
You know, I don't know if I stand on that same ground. I don't know if I'm more excited or if I'm equally excited or if I don't know.
Okay, let me put it this way. I'm more. I am hesitant whenever I talk about WB DC comic movies, just because I'm usually not that impressed. But this trailer for Suicide Squad, the same thing. I was really worried about. I'm still worried about it. But this trailer was fucking amazing. I love every minute of it. I remember when I first saw it, I pressed play. Immediately when they started playing Bohemian Rhapsody,
I know that first moment where just all you hear is the song kick in.
Yeah, well, I was worried because I love that song. I love Queen, and so when I saw that, I was like, no, they're gonna fuck it up. I was so wrong.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Anything you're doing, any project you have, if you slap Bohemian Rhapsody, it just increases the quality ever so much, even if it's absolute shit.
Except for karaoke nights.
Except for karaoke nights. Well, that's because let's be honest. Because that's not the front man of Queen singing.
Yeah.
That is not Freddie freaking Mercury.
And what an appropriate song.
I know. I didn't think so. I didn't really think about it until after like the 6th or 7th time. I was like, wait a minute, this really fits.
Yeah. It's a guy who's singing to his mom or singing to whoever's listening about being on death row. Ooh. No, we're gonna fuck it up.
Yes. It's not karaoke moment. No, but no, it's like all the characters we had just blew my mind. And even like the little characters, which I'm sure you and I have different opinions on who's gonna live and who's gonna die. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
it's Suicide Squad. It's a group. For those you don't know, it's a group of villains from the DC universe that are sent on suicide missions. In every issue, someone's likely gonna die. So in this movie, someone's likely gonna freaking die.
Someone's. There's gonna be multiple.
Yeah, there's definitely. And good guy, bad guy, doesn't matter. Hell,
Doesn't
you
matter.
know what? To be completely honest, Batman could die in this because Ben Affleck's in this.
That's highly doubtful.
Highly doubtful, but let's be honest. It'd be good. It'd be good. It'd be good to see that change. Like, what did Batman just die? Now what?
Yeah, but we already know. We already know that he's planning on doing some solo Batman films.
Which I hope Affleck does direct. That'd be great. I really think so.
I like him better behind the camera than in front of the camera.
Exactly. Every time even if he's doing both, he values his direction more than he does his acting, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's keep it on topic with Suicide Squad.
Yep.
We have a great cast. We got tons of great actors, and we can go on and on about those. But we're just talking about the trailer right now.
Let's talk about stuff that we were excited about.
I was excited to see a little bit more, mildly, but a little bit more of a fleshed out story for one.
Uh-huh.
I was excited to see more Croc on screen because he just looks cool.
I can't wait for Croc. He's
non-CG prosthetics. Practical effects just make me just squee. I'm not a CG fan in the hugest sense.
Practical effects will always scare me more than CG.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is. CG, I'm never scared of it, and I'm easy to scare. I really am. Like the really cheap special effects scare me to shit. CG, I don't give a damn.
But what I liked also more is we had some more fleshed out scenes that we see more character in the characters. Like one that stole this scene from me wasn't necessarily Joker, which everyone's always focusing on him. It was Captain Boomerang in this.
Right?
He just looks like he's got. I want to see him on screen as much as I can. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Every shot of him in this trailer is phenomenal.
Every shot of this trailer is him being the biggest asshole on the team too.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Which is consistent with every rendition of Suicide Squad. Any rendition of Captain Boomerang is just he's a dick.
Animated, comics, doesn't matter.
He does not he doesn't respond well with authority.
I even like the little the cheap little sports jacket he's got on, not sports jacket, but like the little athletics sweater he's got on underneath where it just says Captain.
Yeah.
It's like he just came from a rugby match.
My favorite shot is the acid dip with the swirling colors coming off of Joker and Harley.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I was a little worried at the shot that had Joker kind of doing the swan dive, which in most movies is used as like someone does the big sacrifice play, blah blah blah. But it seems more like he's diving in, and then you see that scene where he's lifting her out of what looks to be the same kind of chemicals he's now immune to, and the colors of their clothes running out and burning. You see like his shirt just burning off his body.
And what I like about that shot is the way they shot it almost looks like a baptism into insanity, into his world.
Yeah.
I just love the whole rising her up from the acid. It's just I don't know. I'm pretty goddamn impressed.
Well, as a former psych major myself, I love the idea of Harley being this like a top, not just like a decent psychologist, but like a top psychoanalyst, and she got broke by the Joker just enough to let him perform said baptism, if that's what it truly is, which I hope it is.
Did you see Assault on Arkham, the animated Suicide Squad movie?
Yes, I did.
My favorite aspect of that is that even though she's insane, she still has the psychoanalyst in there, and so she analyzed Captain Boomerang while she was cracking into Arkham, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like that twist to her character.
I hope they keep that. I hope they really pull that away and keep that, because that's just phenomenal. I like the idea that she is this psycho with smarts, because
that's a Batman villain.
Yeah, exactly. Because they got to give her something a little bit more. Because no offense to the actress, but she's a lot taller and skinnier than I expected her to appear in my mind. I always thought that she was going to be more athletic. I mean, she's a gymnast, for Christ's sake. I expected a little bit more.
Yeah. And we see a little bit of that in the trailer, I hope, where she takes off her jacket and just jumps onto the rope.
Where she Tarzans off of the whatever she's jumping off of that's exploding around her.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get a glimpse of Will Smith's character looking like he's more the point man, the narrative point man, as opposed to really a fleshed out character. Which is, let's be honest, it's Will Smith as a character. He doesn't really, even though he's good with some of the more serious roles in movies like this, he uses the same line. I mean, how many movies has he said, "It's time to save the world. Let's go save the world. Save the world. Save the world."
The thing I really want to hear him say is, "Ah, hell nah." That's all I want to hear. That's
you wanted to tap into. So are we saying we want to tap into all his past movies? Like now, you want him to tap into Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2,
and Men in Black,
and
iRobot,
and Will Smith movies.
Yeah, every Will Smith movie except for like Pursuit of Happiness and Concussion has "Ah, hell nah."
Ah, hell nah. Yeah, it really does. I didn't think about that till now.
Yeah. And you usually have the slow moving close up on his eyes as he looks at something insane.
Oh my god, that's so right.
The one thing that I think could get me in the theater immediately and I could just go insane is if they had a rap song at the end credits. I'd be sold if I got that.
Kind of like the Men in Black song or the Wild Wild West.
Yep. Oh. Even the crappy one on Men in Black 2, I still love the hell out of that.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's let him rap a Bohemian Rhapsody. I cannot talk. Why do I talk for a living?
I wouldn't care about that. I would love it. I don't care what song he uses. I just want to hear him rap again.
It being Suicide Squad and so many characters looking to die, what do you think about the kill list versus surviving list? Who do you think's gonna die and who do you think's gonna live?
Well, I thought it was funny in the animated Suicide Squad movie, they showed all these characters, and one character, like, I am a DC fanboy, but I still don't know, there's plenty of characters I still don't know about, and so whenever I don't really know the character, I'm like, they're gonna die. It's usually characters I'm not too familiar with.
I think the two biggest unknowns on the team are actually Slipknot and El Diablo.
Slipknot's dead. Slipknot is dead.
I think so, too. I think he's gonna have some pretty kick-ass scenes that we're not seeing. But I'm pretty confident he's dead. And El Diablo is a newer. He came around in like 2011 in the comics. He's essentially just this fire villain, but he doesn't want to be a bad guy. He got caught up in shit, and he thinks that he can redeem himself through the Suicide Squad in the comics. And I think that's kind of what he might be going at here too, because he doesn't get any speaking points, but he always looks really solemn, except for all the weird tattoos he's got all over his face.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's the goofy. He's not enjoying where he is. I'd
like to see him have a death where he thinks he's gonna redeem himself, but it's a waste. It's a fail. Like he thinks he's gonna stand up and just like all of a sudden just dead. And,
like they even have the rising music, like he's gonna do something really amazing for everyone.
Exactly. The drums are beating, the horns are blaring, and all of a sudden, nope, he's dead, and so is everyone he tried to protect. Well, moving on. And then I just want Harley like up on like a top back, like, laughing, like ooh, uncool. I'd like Croc to live.
Yeah.
And not necessarily just because I think he looks cool. I just want to see him and Batman on the same screen.
Oh, definitely.
Because we haven't gotten that in the cinematics yet, and I'm sure you'd agree. Even back in the Nolan movies, I always thought that he could fit.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the comics have made Killer Croc more crocodile than man, but my preferred stories of Killer Croc was it
unnecessarily. I might
unnecessarily. I like him being just what he is. His origin story. He's a wrestler with a skin issue. It just gives him tough skin, and he filed his teeth down to points.
You think Batman ever just kept like special like bat lotion in his utility belt, just like puts him in the hole? It rubs the lotion on the skin, or it becomes the Croc again.
But with a Nolan Batman voice.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Or it gets the hose again.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Let me sidestep for a second. What do you think of the old Batman Nolan voice versus the new Cyber Snyder voice?
I like the Cyber Snyder voice when it was in his not Iron Man suit, his not Hulk Buster suit. But when it's just in his regular costume, it looks weird.
I think when you're looking at him in the eye, it does look weird because you expect it to be like Affleck, but it's not. It's not Ben Affleck at all. It's just like Iron Man voice. It's like I don't know. It's like Ultron talking out of Batman's mouth, and he doesn't
Yeah.
have a filter over it. It's like he's got something on his throat that it's like he's got a little like you know those little clitoral vibrators you can get that you attach to. It's like he's got that
He's a
in the
smoker.
bat. Yeah, it's like he's got that in the bat cow. So when he talks, he's just like, bzzz, and he's like, I'm Batman.
Do you bleed?
And then one woman realizes how he changes his voice, and then she kind of smiles, like, I'm going to use that later. You gestured to all of me. I know. Back to Suicide Squad is, I think that Will Smith is either going to die the hero, like the hero, or he's going to be, everyone's going to think he died, and he's going to slip away and, like, be off with his family, like, free man.
I think the latter one's going to happen if he can get the device out of his head.
Probably.
Spoiler alert, that's what Suicide Squad does.
All the time. It's either a collar or an implant, or they just send the goddamn Batman after you. It doesn't matter. They freaking... They won't
send Batman. Batman would never work with Amanda Waller.
Exactly. They got the primo bitch supreme. I mean, you think Sam Jackson as Nick Fury is something else? Imagine Amanda Waller is just don't fuck with no matter what.
Don't fuck with her.
One of my favorite things to say about her is she is the one person I know who will look down Batman dead in the eye and never blink.
Look, even Superman has blinked before.
Right? Oh, yeah. Lex Luthor, all these other villains, doesn't matter. She's not necessarily a villain, though. She's that person who will do any and everything to get the right outcome. She doesn't care about morality. She cares about the end goal.
She has no ego. Like, we can say the same thing about Lex. Like, he doesn't care about what he has to do to get the end goal, but he at least still has an ego. He believes that he is the best Earth can give, and that's why he's upset about Superman being this alien and everyone worshiping him when it should be an Earthling.
Which is why I disapprove. Finally, I can say it because I've seen enough of the trailers. I disapprove of the casting. Lex Luthor is, upon discovering Superman's existence, has always been, in the comics anyways, been hitting the gym, been getting himself to the prime physique he can bring himself to, and has always said, this is earned. This strength is earned. This is man muscle, not I'm a manly man. This is muscle that's earned. I've earned this strength. You don't deserve what you have.
Our son gave that to you. You were taking our son.
Exactly. And now we have, we may only literally, Snyder is a bit of an asshole. We may only be getting the part of Luthor that is Luthor giving off his fake vibe. I have a theory that we may just be getting his, how do I say this? We may be getting kind of like what he shows to the public. We may be getting his Wizard of Oz thing. They don't see what's behind the curtain. We've seen images, and he came on to talk shows with the shaved head. And his attitude whenever he's seen with a shaved head is stone cold and just dead-eyed, didn't have any emotion to him, right? What we're seeing is kind of more like the old Superman movies with Luthor being more slapstick, a little bit more silly.
We'll see. I hope you're right.
Yeah, so I hope I'm right too, because I'm kind of, with what I'm seeing right now, not the happiest.
Because I hate seeing a not bald Lex.
I do too.
Because it's never been like Lex didn't just lose his hair; he gave up his hair because it's washing your hair is a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be working all the time, and the less hair he has on him, the better. He just wants to wash up, lather up, and go.
Except for like later on, they retconned it to of the various three things like, oh, it's kryptonite poisoning, it's this. It's like, oh, come on, really now?
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking they're probably going with, because I remember in one of the clips of the trailer, Luthor's hand is cut on the palm, and he's got the bandage on, and in various incarnations of the comics, which is kind of where Snyder looks to be drawing some stuff from. that is he's cut on kryptonite or some sort of Kryptonian metal, and it causes a poisoning in his blood where he loses all his hair for some reason, not his eyebrows.
Gotcha.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like you said, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic about this movie. Not Deadpool. Doomsday or not. Teenage Mutant Ninja Doomsday.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do know for a fact. I'm really looking forward to seeing Wonder Woman in this.
Oh my God, Wonder Woman.
I'm excited to see her in this because I like that instead of her being the third wheel in this movie, she looks more like the wild card that can change the tide of the events.
Uh-huh.
Not only is it like, oh, you two boys stop fighting, now it's kind of like, oh shit, Doomsday. Oh, never mind, Wonder Woman's here. We're pretty good now.
I feel like it's more like a crash into the party. Like they didn't even know, like that whole bit where it's like, she with you? And them not knowing who she is or where she came from.
Da fuck are you, woman?
Yeah.
I'm Captain America. I mean, I'm Wonder Woman, bitch.
The clips that they showed on that Kevin Smith and Jeff Johns show, it was amazing.
I know. I love that it's a timepiece. It's an era piece. World War II, which you pointed out to me in a previous conversation how it is World War II. I was confused, but the Darth Vader helmet does show it well. I dig that they give her a kind of a softer, casual feel because I've always thought that's how Wonder Woman was. If she wasn't in battle, she was probably the most nurturing and loving person on the planet. She'd probably, if you even looked like you had a slightly sad face when you walked by her, she wouldn't take a moment and just look by you and think, oh, poor person. She'd be like, poor person, let me give you a hug and make your day better. She'd pick up any child from an orphanage and make their day good. Whatever. She's just the most loving, kind person ever. But then the moment it's time to throw into the heat of battle, she's the one person you don't want to fuck with.
That's the footage that they showed us was, and this is why, like, even though I don't expect good things to come out of DC WB, besides the comic books, I love DC comic books, but the movies are not so much. I love the fact that I was wrong because I thought when they first casted her that she was really small and it was not going to be that believable. But seeing her fight, I'm like, holy shit! All right, I can dig this.
Yeah, because there's a ferocity to her face and to her movements that kind of pull it off.
I originally wanted someone tall with wide shoulders, but I'm like, okay, I'm sold on her as Wonder Woman. That footage was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I kind of was in the same boat. I didn't really know what to think, but I was sold a little bit early before that. I was sold once I saw the still of her in costume, and I said, okay, no, I can see it. I buy it. Because she's not like masculine buff I've been working out. She's magically strong. It's who she is, and she's just power.
And the armor that she has on her.
Yeah, the armor, the weapons, and the lore is pretty much her strength. She's not Superman. She's not this solar-powered god. So there is a difference there, and I like the contrast. I do have an issue with. Yeah, I know it's early footage, but I do have an issue with the choreography I was seeing though when she's in the room and she does this weird like rotational kick and she's sliding across the room like she's on roller skates. It looked like something out of like an old bad 90s action film, and I'm hoping that that's not gonna be the case.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's just bad editing.
Because it's not that wasn't a teaser or a trailer. Those were literally just clips.
Yeah.
So fingers are still crossed. Hope is still high.
Dude, I'm just scrolling through the internet at the moment, and I'm still seeing like a Suicide Squad photo and Captain Boomerang. every shot of him, I'm just excited.
I know. There's my favorite part about him is that he didn't have any. He was the no fucks given in the best way. He gets cut out of a body bag, immediately pops up and starts punching people. And then there's one of my favorite scenes in the entire trailer was him is when the music breaks and he cracks open the beer and he just secretly behind a car while all hell is breaking loose, just like fuck you guys, I'm drinking beer and sneaking around drinking it. That was great.
I'm looking at this photo at the moment where it's a squad, and I'm kind of worried that this photo is a spoiler and shows us who's gonna die.
Lay it on me.
Because right now I'm just seeing Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Katana, Croc, Harley, and what's that soldier dude?
Um, uh, Jack Flag.
Jack Flag and him. That's all I see in the image right now, and they're all
Ooh,
here.
someone's
So
missing.
so either they split up and the other guys are doing another part of the mission, or they have died.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I'm just looking at this photo, and I was looking for the everyone else. I was like, oh shit.
I can guarantee two characters live. I guarantee it. I guarantee that Harley and the Joker live.
Yeah.
I don't. But then again, Joker's not even on the squad. I think he's just kind of broke loose and raising hell while everything is going chaotic around him.
Well, have we ever seen Will Smith die?
Yes.
When?
It's what is it? The movie where he played the guy who donated all his body parts and killed himself with a jellyfish.
What was that?
Pieces or parts or something like that.
Okay.
8 pounds. 8 pounds.
Ah, right.
But that's the only movie I can think of, unless you count. Oh God, this is harsh because he's really upset about this. Unless you count the new Independence Day film.
But we haven't seen him die.
We didn't see him die, but we saw in the trailer there was an announcement of his death.
Yeah. No, I'm still confused. I'm really worried that this scene is a spoiler. I'm kind of upset about that. Anyway, other movies that DC has mentioned with him.
One I'm excited about is the Flash movie because they are, instead of having it like the CW's TV show, they're having it to where he is pretty much the embodiment of speed, the speed god, which the Justice League as a whole are a group of gods. While the Avengers and the Marvel side, they're a group of heroes, the Justice League is a team of gods, practically. And the way they're describing the Flash as if a man who, whenever he moves, is flowing through not only space and time, but through future time, past time, present time, and the realities in between. And they're trying to explain, like, well, what does a man moving that fast truly see? What does he hear? What does he feel? How does he survive? You know, they're going so much into the science and the lore of moving at that speed. And they have said, well, the actor has said, which on a rant I thought he was as high as a freaking kite. He's explained that the Speed Force is in full swing in this movie. So I'm happy to hear that it's not just a man struck by lightning has powers by fluke. It's that there is a Speed Force. It's confirmed in this reality.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just looking up the Flash right now because I'm just curious. What villain do you think he's going to be fighting? Or villains?
I would actually like to see it be. I'd like to see it just be the Rogues Gallery, like all of them.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh well, Gotham has all these loons. Let's try our way. Let's try our luck, and have it to where it's not a story about them teaming up to do it. I'd love it to be where it's all of them doing these horrendous things at once. Yeah. And he literally has to fight all these crimes at one time and stop all these guys at one time, whether or not they're in sync with each other or they just are. And he's that fast to where he's over here, he's over here, he's over here, he's over here, and he has to keep track of what he's doing on one side of the city while he's doing it on the other side of the city. Just to stretch him that thin would be fun to see. Not so much a speed on speed battle, but how fast does the fastest man need to be to save the day?
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Just because I'm a big fan of time travel movies, so I'm always like poking plot holes. I'm always looking for where they fucked up in the timeline, and I'm worried that if they don't do this right, it's gonna fall apart.
Okay.
We'll see.
What would you like to see?
I love the Flash. I love him being goofy. I love him being lighthearted. I mean, they do it really well on a TV show. What I would like is I do like the idea of the Rogues Gallery going after him. I like the idea of a superhero movie told a lot of the rogues, like seeing them in the bar, seeing them goof off, seeing them have fun, because they're not the maniacs that want to destroy the world. They're not the maniacs that want to take over the world. They're just guys who want to get money. They just want to rob stuff and get money.
They're the maniacs that want to enjoy the world.
Yes. In some cases, like when the gorillas in the New 52, when the gorillas from Gorilla City attacked Central City.
Yeah.
Yeah, Central City.
Yeah.
When they attacked Central City, the Rogues fought alongside the Flash to save the city because it's their city. They have that kind of pride.
Yeah. I'd like to see the Rogues. I'd like to see Central City. I'm sorry, be more like. I like that you said the pride thing. I've always thought that the Rogues would be kind of like the people who have like full on city pride. Like, no, this city is the best city in the world. I'm never leaving anywhere. If I'm going down, I'm going down here. This is my town. This is my city. I grew up here. I grew up in those streets. The people here. I want that kind of feel, because the DC universe has their own individual cities, and they all have the cities that these heroes are in have their own personalities, and I like that they did something new with Metropolis and Gotham, where they're kind of doing this San Francisco versus Oakland vibe, where it's just a body of water between them, but they're completely different cities.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to either city, but all you gotta do is
I've been to the first one. I don't want to be the second one.
Go right across the bridge. You feel like you just entered a completely different world.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they went with that. And I'd like to see Central City be more of kind of like a Chicago-type vibe, because that's kind of always how I've envisioned the Flash's world being.
Yeah.
Like booming metropolis, all kinds of stuff going on everywhere, shaping everywhere he looks. Not like a shady place, a place with a lot of pride. Like their sports teams are probably really big up there, and there's really popular things. And the same thing for like Star City and all the other places. Even though New York and all that exists, which I would love to see a globe of how these exist together.
Yeah.
What about the announcement with Cyborg?
Cyborg?
Yeah, he's not getting his own film per se yet, but I like what they mentioned about this being the information age, and how instead of being the bruiser that he always been on the Teen Titans, he's now the man that's always plugged in.
Yeah, no, that's fun. It's not so much him being psychic as him just being able to. You said that Flash can be everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
Cyborg is.
Yeah.
He can't physically do things, but he is always everywhere all the time. The only time that they've done that I can remember that did it really well was Ultron.
Ultron does well at that, yeah, and well, depending on the writer, anyways.
Well, no, I mean in Avengers 2.
Where he is everywhere. Well, that's kind of what I thought. When I heard that they were going to do Cyborg, and then I saw Avengers 2, I kind of thought that was along the lines of how they're going to do it, but not with like the multiple body thing.
Of course.
However, it's the I'm here, I'm fighting, I'm doing this, but I'm also over there stopping a nuke. I'm also over here doing this. It's like he is the central cyber savior, I guess is the way to put it. He is all, he sees all, he will be all.
And it's not straining for him because that's part of who he is. I want him to have his own solo film because I like it that there's even an argument between his human side and his robotic side. That eventually, in the New 52, they even had the robot side like reject him, and I think they called him Grid. I think, but I don't think they're going to take the story straight out of the New 52. But I like that idea that he has to keep fighting with his humanity.
I'm not too sure I want to see it as a new personality per se, like a secondary interaction. I'd like it to be more of a which side do I give up? Like, how more effective will I be if I give up who I am as a human and go full machine? What could I do for everyone else? Mm-hmm. But then again, what if I just go straight up Skynet and suddenly Superman has to find me all over the place?
Well, so you watched the Green Lantern animated series, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Aya, the artificial intelligence,
mm-hmm.
she had to make that decision, and her choice was lots of consequence.
You chose poorly.
Well, it depends on what side you're going with, because she did stop the Antimatter,
mm-hmm.
but then she decided to destroy the universe herself. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, banana phone. We'll go ahead and segue away from.
Oh yeah.
From Cyborg real quick, since you did mention them. The Green Lantern Corps was announced. Not just a Green Lantern movie, but a Green Lantern Corps movie was announced. Well, I don't know if they actually announced a movie or just the existence of the Corps, but I was excited about that because now we can have. Instead of having to worry about which Green Lantern we're getting, yes is the answer. I'm in love with all renditions we've had. Kyle, Hal, Guy, every one of them I love. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, you're not going to talk about Simon?
Simon?
Simon Baz, the Muslim?
Oh, I forgot about him because I stopped reading the New 52 around the time that they dumped him on, and I didn't really follow that, sadly. I don't know if he was good or not because he isn't still. Is he still in the comics?
I don't know.
Because I know that that Green Lantern.
I haven't
shifted
seen him
from
in a
that.
while.
It went a Green Lantern shifted from that to now Hal is like a rogue in space with instead of the ring he's got some gauntlet now.
Yeah.
So I was assuming like maybe no one just really clicked on that. I also didn't like the fact that it was a Green Lantern wearing like almost all black and you couldn't even see. You saw like nothing but his mouth and his eyes. I don't know. It was weird. I like the idea of branching out and giving us new ones, but I think for me it was just bad timing because the New 52 just burned me too hard.
Now, do you want Sinestro to be on? Do you want him to be a Green Lantern, or at this point already gone? They just talk about him as if he used to be the greatest Green Lantern ever, and they don't even talk about him until like the sequel when he returns.
Here's how I like
yellow.
it. I'd like it to be to where they need something figured out, and then they say, Hal, you know who you need to talk to. And instead of having him being gone, he's in prison. Sinestro's in prison, and we have kind of a Hannibal Lecter vibe coming from him for a while, and then at the end of the first film, boom, he's gone. And then you realize, like, you give some sign that he got the yellow ring back, or the yellow ring was so happy with him that it came to get him, or someone...
Arkillo.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be fantastic.
I'd be very happy with that.
That's how I'd like Sinestro to be in the movie. Since we've already had him in a crappier movie, which by the way, that's disappointing that movie went so bad because I thought that actor was fantastic.
Mark Strong was a perfect choice.
I agreed entirely. I think that was fantastic. In fact, I'd be okay bringing him back. I'd forget the old previous movie if they bring him back. But yeah, I'd like that kind of like Hannibal Lecter vibe from Sinestro where he is just, even without a ring, he's still that imposing and he's still got that much importance. Because he is. It's really, to me, who Sinestro is. It's no matter his role, he's the man you don't fuck with.
Yeah, well, he still considers himself the best Green Lantern ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best lantern wielder ever.
Yeah, even without the green. I mean, you nailed it with your first statement. Even without the green ring in hand, he still thinks he is being the best Green Lantern without it.
Yeah.
But no, I like the fact that we're gonna get John. I like the fact that we're gonna get Kyle. I pray to God we get Kyle. And then I like the fact that we're gonna get Guy.
Well, we hope that we're gonna get all of those.
I think I got to go back and watch, but I'm pretty sure he said everyone is back.
Okay.
And he said there is no one main Green Lantern here, and that is where I'm leaning in the hope because. Please, let's get the whole fucking clan back. What I'd like is, instead of having, like, Hal Jordan's story be told, I'd love it to where, like, say, Kyle is the new narrative point, and you have all these other Green Lanterns, and it's like, oh, you're not the only one from your planet.
That would be cool.
And then, essentially have it to where it's, like, you get flashbacks to everyone's story. It's like, well, Hal was the first one from our planet, and then... He inspired.
You don't even have to have flashbacks. I like what you said that if we started out with Kyle and just introducing Kyle to the other Green Lanterns of Earth, that would be kind of neat.
Well, I'm talking not a flashback and like actually flashing back to it, but just an introduction to have whoever is teaching him or whoever who is telling him the story, explaining who each one is, and then because all the comics and all the cartoons always play Hal as the one. Always introduce and then there was the first one, Hal Jordan, the first human. I'd love it if they just kind of give everyone kind of like this credit without having to watch this whole background, the origin story.
Hell, it would be the ring. It would be the ring just telling him the story.
No, that'd be true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Kyle would be a good choice because we have to have someone to be the audience to learn with us.
Yeah.
And then Kyle would also be really fun because I love Kyle as a cartoonist. I love the idea of a Green Lantern cartoonist. Yeah. Go figure.
No, I always did like him in the '90s and early 2000s. I liked him. I always thought that his costume was pretty cool. I liked the big giant over the entire face mask.
Yeah.
I didn't like when they changed him to the weird dog collar costume. Not gonna lie. But and then he had one of the most epic origin stories of all time with spoiler alert, his girlfriend winding up in the fridge.
Oh my god.
Did that not shock the shit out of you? Did you not turn that page and you go, wait, what?
That was one's tragic fucking story.
And then he stayed optimistic. But what I really love is by doing that, we can also open up the opportunity of doing like the Flash family too. You know, we could still wind up with Wally West. We could still wind up with all these others because, come on, let's just keep the fun rolling. I'd love to see Wally West and Kyle just running around and being assholes in the Justice League sequels. You know.
That's my issue with DC is that they have not really shown fun.
No, they haven't.
And that's always what makes me hesitant towards DC movies. And so if Suicide Squad proves me wrong, proves that DC and WB team up has the ability to have fun with comic book movies, I'll be sold. All it takes is Suicide Squad to really make me like, fuck yes, all right, cool, let's do this. I'm game. You've got my money forever.
I would say that the only one that we haven't talked about yet is could be fun, but it looks like they're going with a character whose origin story is a little dark. Aquaman is another film that's coming up, and with Jason Momoa.
Aquaman, I don't need that to be fun.
No, I want that to be true. I dig that we're going with a Samoan-ish Aquaman. By the way, a lot of people are like whining and complaining. I could give a shit less. I think it's awesome. We don't need a whitewashed superhero group. What we need is a good story with good visuals and change it up for the modern day, not just for the sake of changing it, but because you could do it well.
Well, logic says that would be really cool for Aquaman to be a Samoan.
Exactly. I mean, look at where they're at. Look at the culture and look at the history. It fits. It really does.
Yeah.
Not to mention, let's please have a scene where he's about to fight like some big underwater monster thing, and he does like the death dance where he's pounding his chest and sticks his tongue out and then just goes in for a kill.
I'd be okay with that, but I want this to be serious because he like you said, he has got scary. He's got a very serious origin story. And he was not the kind of guy. Okay, so the origin story is that the princess or queen from Atlantis comes up to the sea, has sex with a lighthouse dude, and has a kid. And that kid, Arthur Curry, he doesn't feel connected to any world that he's in. Like versus Superman, who his parents are really loving, and he's in this like really open family that they're just like, "Oh, Clark, you can do no wrong." Arthur Curry's like, "I just feel stupid everywhere I am."
You know, I want to kind of back up there. So the Queen leaves Atlantis, swims thousands upon thousands of miles, just to get some lighthouse keeper dick.
Some lighthouse action.
What does that man have going on in his trousers that I don't? Because that man, I need to take notes. I need to take notes of what this man's doing right.
I think it's the lighthouse.
Do you think it's the lighthouse?
If you found light.
The big phallic light bulb in the sky?
Yeah.
Okay, I got so. Hang on, taking a note. Buy lighthouse for more poon.
For ocean poon.
Ocean. Oh, thank you, ocean poon. All of a sudden, you just see Ariel like flopping up on the beach, going, let's do this." I'm like, how?
Son of a bitch. Lighthouses work.
Anyways.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I think that the ocean has always scared me. The monsters that they can use are scary on their own.
I wonder punch Ursula. Just on the fly. just like in a quick cameo.
Well, think about like seeing like this dark, mysterious ocean. There's like one individual just floating in the water, and you don't see it yet, but a shadowy figure comes into view, and it's like a fucking giant squid. That'd be scary as hell.
Holding like a shipwreck in one arm and like a bunch of dead bodies in the other, and the rest are all for you.
Yeah, and he has to battle them.
That would be very terrible. I do believe Aquaman could be a scary film. I'm not gonna lie. Even if it goes PG, I'd still be scared.
Yeah.
But Aquaman's always kind of had a bad rap of being just this dude that talks to fish. He's fucking strong. He can go toe to toe with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
He swims in like the toughest pressures you can go. So,
Yeah, he's practically bulletproof.
yeah.
Has to fight against the currents. Have to dive deep as hell. Nah, he's pretty amazing. I've always been a fan of Aquaman.
I think it's more that people just don't get to see the cool shit he does.
Yeah.
Because we can't scuba dive and watch him. Like, oh, hey, check it out. Hey, everyone, go look at Superman. Hey, it's Superman flying the sky. Meanwhile, Aquaman's like off in the distance going, fuck you, bitches. Jesus Christ.
I just saved the world like 10 times. Just because you didn't see it on Twitter doesn't mean I didn't do it.
All Superman did is catch some kid that jumped. Do you have any idea how dead you were that 10 minutes ago if it wasn't for me? Huh? No, fuck you.
Your core was threatened, and not your core, Earth's core, and I was there to save it.
I'm gonna go have a sandwich and forget all this happened and save you tomorrow. Because that's what I do. I'm not selfish. Like you.
I'm the king of this ocean. This planet is mine. I keep this planet safe.
I love one of the scenes I loved in New 52, which is very rare for me to say, is one of the Aquaman scenes where he's first introduced to the Justice League. It's not even like, oh, let's go get this guy, he's powerful. No, it's straight up like, here's a bunch of aliens attacking. Oh shit, what do we do? Nope. Dozens of sharks jumping from the ocean and just taking a bite out of the sky. And here he comes. Here comes Aquaman walking out like, what are you guys doing here?
I like it when they're trying to pick a leader, and he's like, I should lead. I'm royalty. I'm a leader. I'm already a leader.
Yeah. He's like, is he being a dick or is he being serious? Nope, that's him. He's being serious. He's giving us advice.
My favorite scenes from New 52, since we're doing a tangent of New 52, my favorite scenes are from the stories that were not really affected by the reboot, and that's Green Lantern and Batman.
Yes.
I was always a fan of the story of the Court of Owls. I think that story was awesome.
That was great, yes.
One of my favorite scenes is from Hal Jordan talking to Sinestro. And my favorite scene is when Sinestro pretty much got what he always wanted, killing the Guardians. And Hal's just like, he's like, dude, Sinestro, were we ever friends? And usually Sinestro calls him Jordan, or Lantern Jordan, or Hal Jordan. He always uses his full name, and he's like, Hal, that's the tragic part about all this. I have always considered you my friend, and he flies away.
And that's when Hal Jordan floats in space for 3 days crying. Then he flies home gets a big bucket, not a little thing, but a bucket of ice cream, watches Gilmore Girls and cries. He was my friend.
No one shall escape my sight.
Do you think they're gonna use the other colored rings in the movies at any point? Not just the yellow ring, but like the whole plethora.
I hope, because think about what, like, if they went the same route with Croc with practical effects, how scary Atrocitus would be.
Yes. Now I would love the Red Lanterns to invade Earth, not with like a bunch of mix-up. I don't want Superboy Prime with a red ring or anything like that, or like with a yellow ring. I mean, I would love. Here's how I'd love it. I'd love it to be Green Lantern Corps the movie, and then the sequel to be the Sinestro Wars, where like the Yellow Lanterns versus the Green Lanterns all over, and then after that I'd love it to be where it's the Red Lanterns are coming, and then literally each time just expand a little bit. Maybe not every movie be a new color, but those first three be green, yellow, red. I think that kind of is the big arc, and then you could have in the towards the end of the second movie have the introduction to what's his name? Hope Walker, Spirit Walker, the Blue Lantern, Saint Walker, something like that. He's a Walker.
Yeah, Saint Walker.
Yeah. And then have him be the narrative for the third movie, and hook him up with like Hal or any of them, and I'd love that.
I would think that the Blue Lanterns would be there to help against the Red Lanterns.
Exactly. That's why they come in the third film. Like they're introduced at we get like not introduced like the world's introduced, but like the audience is introduced at the end of the second movie, at the end of the Sinestro War, and be like, okay, it's time to fight the Red Lanterns now, bitches. But here's what I really want. Go ahead.
What if you did the other way around? Where the Yellow Lanterns are the second one is Red Lanterns, and the third one is Yellow Lanterns.
That would kind of make Sinestro a little bit more badass, but I would still put Sinestro in the second movie with a yellow ring, but don't have the core, don't have his Sinestro core.
Yeah,
that would be a good way to do it. I would still want Kyle to be the one who gets all the different rings, as opposed to Hal, because in the comics he becomes what's it called, Ion or whatever it's called. He basically becomes the
Talk about the White Lantern.
The White Lantern, yeah, the one that could do all of them at once. He can wield them all. I'd like them to play in that, and he's the one that gets to experience the different rings, as opposed to Hal, which they play with as well.
I don't think they have the guts to do anything with Black Hand.
I don't think so either, but I think down the road that could be cool.
It could be cool if they did it. I would be down. The closest we ever got to that was in the animated series when what's her name? I forget the Guardian's name before she became Scar, or was she always Scar? But she's the scarred one, and they showed that she had the book. There was a book with the Black Lantern logo on it, and it was just in the background.
Do you think we're gonna get the pink ones? Because all I want to do is I just want to watch a clip of them getting their power, quote unquote.
I'm trying to remember what color. The Star Sapphire,
right? Yeah, because every time that they get their powers, they kind of have to go through this orgasm type thing, which I always thought was kind of weird. They had to go through this huge sensual scene with being covered in crystals. It's like,
their love, man.
That's a lot of love. I don't know. All this being brought together and then being a big smash with the Justice League, which apparently it's not just the Justice League movie; it's the Justice League Part 1.
Yep.
Which we have a date on, which I don't have in front of me right now. I know. I'm looking forward to it. Who do you think the big baddie is? Because let's be honest, it's It's a Darkseid. But who do you think the big baddie is?
You're right. Let's be frank. It's Darkseid. What I would really love is Starro.
Ooh, what if Darkseid uses Starro as like a disease? Like instead of just spreading like a viral disease, he actually dumps this giant face-sized parasite.
I think he'd be too worried about. He'd want his own agents to take over the world.
Okay.
That's a pride thing.
Okay, how about this? Whoa, things are clicking. What if Starro is just a disease that is used to infect Superman? And what we get as kind of the fun little cameo is when Batman gets some of his blood and he looks at it, it's actually got the little Starro on a blood cell. But Superman's the only one that's like all fuckered up.
I would love it. Personally, what I would like is if Starro did attack Earth. That would also lead to being able to show they don't have to pick it doesn't have to like big baddies. It could just be like minor baddies that we're never going to see in a movie ever. Like have Batman fight against like Scarface or some shit, and have Starro attached to them like Arkham releases, and they have to fight off all these characters, superhero, good and bad, versus the Justice League.
Can we get Jared Leto for a clip of a Starro landing on his face and be like, oh fuck, no, fuck that, nope, I'm out.
I wouldn't mind. They did it before where they have Starro on the back of the neck.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot about that. But it's kind of a. We all know what that movie's from.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up early today. I know we're keeping it short and sweet, but we can only talk about movies for so long, forever. And if we don't stop now, we never will.
I'm really bummed out that every time the most recent times I've been on the show, there has not been a beer in my hand.
You know what? It's too early. We're filming early today, and I am a professional alcoholic, not a amateur alcoholic. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get a beer in your hand, and we'll have you come up on air instead of through Skype, the magical of the internet. But we'll definitely put a beer in your hand soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, tell everyone once again where to find you so they can go ahead and find your wonderful work.
I would go on if you have Facebook, I would go on the Jimmy Purcell Pro page. It's got a picture of me with 2 thumbs up. Otherwise, you can check out my webcomic, beenbettercomic.com, goodcopcatcop.com. Dark Crusader is on jackofallnerdspodcast.com, and that's it. I would also recommend going on the A3 Publishing Facebook site. Those are all places you can find me.
All right, thank you. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please click that like, subscribe, and share buttons. Tell us what you want to hear more in the future, and tell us what you didn't like. If you didn't like me, then you can go fuck yourself. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're kicking off some new stuff in the future, and I want you guys to all get it early on. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I want you guys to be a part of it. So stay tuned, and we'll have a blast. As always, I am your host, Christian Barrick, and thank you, Jimmy Purcell, for joining me.
No problem.
May the awesomeness be with you.